Good day everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel. So today you're gonna learn what is a if and else statements. Also at the end of this video you're gonna learn how to create a calculator. So first let me what will this calculator do? Don't worry about this code, we will be doing this together. So what will calculator do is it will ask for the number. So to check if my calculator work, let's give it a big number, and it asks for the operator. So operator means plus, minus, or subtraction or division. Oh, I did the wrong thing here. I put two double r's in here, so it doesn't matter, whatever. So let's put a plus sign here, and oh, maybe there's something wrong in this. So let's try again. 12. Okay, now it's fine. I don't know why this is bugging. Okay, fine. Now it will give the sum of those two numbers. So we got some exciting stuff to do. Let's just get right into it. So before we do anything, let's learn about if and else statements in Python. So to create a if else statement in Python, uh, you need something that only can be true or false. So before we get into that, let's create a variable called number1. Okay, number1 equals 3 and number2 equals 5. Okay, now let's create a if or else statement to see what is bigger. So if number1 is bigger than number2, as you can see, this sign means if this variable is bigger than this variable, then what we want to do is print number 1 is bigger than number 2. Okay, now as you can see, this is only a text. So if this happen, oh, did you guys realize that I put a sign like this? So when we are creating statements like if or loops, don't worry about loops, we will be teaching that later. You need to put a sign like this. What will this sign do is it will capture what is under that as an part of this statement. Also, to make it easier for us, you need to put 4 spaces. So if we didn't put 4 spaces, when we run this, it gives us error. So remember to put 4 spaces here. How much did I put? Sorry for that. 1 2 3 4. Okay, now it's fine. So what will happen is it will check if number 1 is greater than number 2. So if it is, then it will print number 1 is bigger than number 2. What should we do if it isn't? If it isn't means then number 2 is bigger than number 1. Okay, now let's print number 2 is bigger than number 1. Okay, now let's see if this works. Also remember to put this sign here and also 4 spaces. So if we run this, as you can see, it prints out number 2 is bigger than number 1 because number 2 is 5 and number 1 is 3. But there's a little bit of a problem here. So let's equal it to 5. Now when we run this, nothing happens. Nope, something happened. Oh yeah, as you can see, it prints out number 2 is bigger than number 1. How does this happen? The reason is it first checks if this is true. If this isn't true, whatever happens doesn't matter. It will print number 2 is bigger than number 1. But we didn't think about the uh, position that if those two numbers are equal. So how to fix this? Let's use a else if statements. Okay, now to create a else if statements, it's kind of like another if statements, but it's simplified. Okay, now to create a else if statement, you just say if. Okay, now after that, as in the if statement, you first need to give it a condition. So else if number 1 equals to number 2. So did you saw that I put two equal signs here? So the reason is we use two equal signs to check if this is equal. Okay, now so let me give an idea. If we put two equal signs in there, we get an error. Okay, now let's do that. We put two equal signs in there to check if it is equal to. So remember that. So what will this do is, as in the if statement, it will first check if number 1 equals number 2. Then we know we need to print number 1 is not bigger than equal to. Okay, equal to number 1. So let's again use another else statements. Also remember that with this else statement will happen if none of these are true. Okay, now if some of these are true, then it won't happen. So let's print number 2 is bigger than number 1. So let's see if our machine works. So it prints out number 2 is equal to number 1. Yay, it worked. As you can see, it worked. So this is how we use if and else statements in Python. So let's get back to the crazy work. So now let's create a calculator. So to create a calculator, as you saw before, we need to ask for the first number. So to do that, we just say number 1. Make sure to put int and input. Also, you have no idea what I am doing, please search my getting input from my user video, then you will have a better understanding. Let's say number 1, enter the number. Okay, now what will this do is, it will ask for the number and get the number and convert it into an int and store it as number 1. Okay, now let's do the same thing to the number 2. Okay, now as you guys saw before, I asked for the operator. Okay, now let's ask for the operator. So operator. Now let's equal it to, let's ask from the user to give us an operator. Enter the operator. Okay, now it will ask for the operator. What will happen is, whatever the user gives us will be stored as a string in the variable called operator. Okay, now let's use some if and else statements to do this. So we need to use if and else statements with the operator. So if operator equals plus sign. Okay, now if operator equals plus sign, then we need to print the sum of those two numbers. So number 1 plus number 2. It's that easy. So let me just copy this and paste it here and use else if. Okay, now else if operator equals to minus sign, then we need to obviously number 1 should be minus by number 2. Okay, now you need to use another else if statement here. Now else if operator equals multiplication sign, then obviously we need to multiplicate those two numbers together. Then again use else if sign, and if this is true, then we need to divide number 1 by number 2. So but there's a little bit of a problem here. So let's run this to check as far as we done if it's true. So as you can see, sorry for that, as you can see, it asks for the first number. Let's give it 12, and it asks for the operator. Let's give it a plus sign, and it asks for the next second number. Then let's give 13. It works. Now let's check minus sign. Now as you can see, it's print out -1. So let's check what we do. Let's do multiplication sign. Okay, 2. I don't know what just happened. It sometimes bug. Don't worry. 2 multiplied by 4. What will happen? As you can see, it prints out 8. Now let's divide something. 4 divided by 2. As you can see, it prints out 2. Now what if the user goes crazy and give us something like this as the operator? So if user gets crazy and give us something like this as the operator, now what will happen? Nothing happens because we are not doing anything to fix this problem. So to do that, let's use a else function, else statement, sorry. So if none of these happens means obviously the user gives us something dumb. So let's print please enter a valid number, not number, operator. Okay, now let's see if this works. So let's wait and give it 12. Let's go crazy and do this. Oh, as you can see, it worked. So as you guys can see, we successfully built a proper calculator. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. So see you in the next one. Bye bye.